Hey friends. So today it's like I have a theme that feels like it's ricocheting around in my mind, and it's come up in a number of conversations. It's come up in a number of experiences, um, and basically what I think I am gaining a new access to, maybe is the way to put it, is the nature of leadership and the nature of followership, for lack of a better word, and the relationship between those two things. In other words, what it means to lead, what is involved in leading, what it means to follow, what is involved in following. And this has come up in a couple of different professional contexts now, with both in my own work and with some clients and students. And it's also come up in my parenting and in thinking about Annalise, who, of course, as a 4-year-old, what it means to lead a 4-year-old or to follow a 4-year-old is a very different thing than when you're talking about, some professional relationship. But at the same time, I just have a sense that leadership and followership and everything in between, everything everywhere all at once, all of them at the same time, the spectrum. We put everything on a spectrum. Let's put leadership and followership on a spectrum. That this is a real key to healthy action and healthy relationships, raising healthy children. We were talking to I was talking to Katie yesterday, and we were talking about Annalise as a young person, and she, as somebody who really actually at her age, because of course we want to give her a choice in her own, what she does with her time, her own activities, what she studies, what she gets into. She's going to a Montessori school, so the entire curriculum is structured around the principle of self-directed learning. Annalise seeks out, in the classroom full of opportunities, she seeks out what she wants to do. And that's something that we very much, I think also, we give her a lot of room for that at home too. But there's which I would in some ways call, follow the child is the principle in Montessori, follow the child. But I think there's another element in the mix, especially with a 4-year-old. This gets different, although not always when you're dealing with adults. But there's an element of, with a young person, the available options of what to do with her life, even what to do with her afternoon, are not real options to her. First of all, she can't go do stuff on her own. She needs an adult around. A 4-year-old can't go explore a city and do whatever they want to do. And second of all, she doesn't even know what her favorite thing to do today is. A lot of times, I would say almost all the time right now, she discovers what her favorite thing to do is by being led there. And this is what Katie and I were talking about yesterday. There's a sensitivity around children and around parenting nowadays that really places a lot of the emphasis on the child's autonomy and giving the child the opportunity to exercise choices and determine their own what they want to do with their life. And which I agree with that insofar as to say, as parents, we don't want to be simply imposing on our kid what she has to do because of our own desires for her or for us or whatever. We want her movement and her evolution to be an outgrowth of her expressing something coming from within her. But it's also like, she's a 4-year-old. If you give her something hard to do, she may resist doing it. And then she may later really love doing it. And day to day, she may love and hate doing it. And there's a kind of gentle leadership, a sensitive and listening leadership that I feel like I'm discovering as a parent, as a result of just being in the role of someone who has observed that when I don't lead clearly, my child can become disoriented and kind of unsure and a little destabilized. Not horribly, but it's never gotten that bad. But I noticed that the effect of my having some rigor and some structure to my own movement creates a whole world in which my child lives. And when I don't do that, she feels it. She's like, wait, and it's all well and good. Like, okay, you have the choice, but what choice? What do you even mean? Choice can be such a burden if if you really just want to make the right choice or make a good choice, but you don't know what those choices are. You don't have the context. You don't have the tools. And so I think, again, I'm kind of unpacking this in my parenting from the position of the parent, but I've also been noticing and observing in my other work and in my other relationships where does a true listening leadership how can I manifest that? How can I enter into a professional collaboration, right? Or a position of authority, or a conversation with a client or a student from a place of listening leadership, where I'm both sensing what's coming out of the other person or out of the group and receiving it, but then knowing that leadership has to happen in order to manifest that, in order to actualize that thing that the other person or the group wants to, where we want to go, what we want to accomplish. That we don't exempt ourselves from autonomy simply by having kind of collectively and collaboratively agreed on something. There's still an autonomy required. And this is one of the things I've learned, because again, I've spent so much of my life in collaborative contexts, and I thrive in them. I love collaboration. I love the fuel that I feel myself getting from the interaction with other people who are really passionate about something, or creating something together. And if I had to put my finger on one primary way that those types of groups and those types of situations kind of go wrong, it's when we arrive at a place where we don't know what to do. There's no clear path. And one of two things happens. Either someone tries to lead without listening, or no one tries to lead. No one wants to lead because we're not sure where we're going. And it's like, and so the questions just become, you just keep unpacking questions, and you just kind of like get lost in a haze of, unpredictable non-knowledge. Because really what is required is a choice, a decisive choice and a movement. But a decisive choice and a movement that is listening and that is prepared to receive. It's such a delicate act. Man, it's a delicate act. And I think I'm getting, again, I don't know why this is it's coming on my brain today, but it's just something that I think, I would say it's a skill set that I have been consciously, cultivating for a while, and also something that continues to reemerge as very significant in my life, and as very, very much something that I want to continue developing at and get better at, because it's important, and it's the only way in certain circumstances and in certain contexts, a listening leadership is the only effective way. It's the only effective way. And I would say that's, I can think of many ever larger, ever more global contexts in which that feels really germane right now. So yeah, that's what showed up for me today. Thanks for watching, people. I appreciate you. So much love. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you tomorrow.